I'm really excited. We're still at Skills USA, and now I'm going to be talking to Crissy Ingram. She is the Executive Director of NAWIC, so welcome, Crissy.
Thank you. So excited to be here.
Have you been at Skills before?
Yes, this is my third Skills.
What do you think of Skills USA?
Love it. I love talking to the instructors, but speaking with the students has been amazing. Every year to watch them come up and have a conversation with us, learn about our association, and really show interest in every company that's out here that can help them with their future. It's wonderful to watch.
Yeah, I agree. And there's like such an energy. Like everyone's so positive, and they're all coming up, and some of them are really nervous about competing and everything. So it's fun. There we go. It's fun. It's fun at Skills USA. So, first of all, probably should tell people what NAWIC is, what it stands for, because we use acronyms all the time.
We do. So NAWIC is the National Association of Women in Construction. We were founded in 1953 in Fort Worth, Texas, and we were founded as Women in Construction Fort Worth, and then gained our national charter in ‘55. So
cool.
We've been around for quite a while.
Yeah, long time doing that. Now I know you haven't been executive director all the time.
Right.
Way too young for that. So how'd you end up being the executive director?
So I stopped working for a year whenever I had my daughter, and took a year off just to be her mom. And then when I was ready to go back to work, I met a wonderful woman, Dee Dee Hughes, who was the executive director at the time. And we got along so well, and I came to work for her, and just whenever I worked for her for several years, and then she retired, and I was able to move up into that space after she had mentored me the whole time, and I was her right hand. So it made it a really easy transition, and I'm so thankful to her for that, because it's been amazing.
So how long have you been executive director?
5 years.
5 years.
Director.
Wow, that's fantastic though. I love that. So did you do anything in construction prior to
No, I actually was in the profit world. I worked in banking for years, and then came to nonprofit, and it's very different.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. So tell us about the mission of NAWIC.
So the mission of NAWIC is to amplify the success of women in the construction industry. So what we do with that, our mission is to make sure that you feel belonging, so that you have people that you can talk to across the country that are doing what you're doing, that are feeling the way that you're feeling. You can share the ups, the downs, the good ideas, the bad ideas, and that belonging and that knowing you're not by yourself, and raise each other up to a new standard, right? So our mission is just to educate, network, and grow the industry.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so important because it is still a male-populated industry.
Absolutely.
And so women need that connection with other women, and the industry right now seems, they're moving in that direction. They want more women in. So I think great timing for NAWIC. I would assume that you guys are having a lot more members, a lot more going on.
Yes, it is a great time to be a woman in construction. We worried through the pandemic and things that we worried about membership and things like that, but through it all, with construction being so important to the world, and then having that kind of a family, we're 6,000 women strong across the country, but it's such a family that instead of losing members, we were actually growing through that pandemic.
Wow.
And so it's a testament to me of that need for that community and that tribe. So it's a great day to be a woman. I mean, everyone's looking for that expansion into the field, and luckily we're able to get in at these levels with students and be able to show the young ladies what is out there for them.
Absolutely, I know. And we were together not too long ago at ENR's groundbreaking Women in Construction, and there were 750 people there. I thought it was great, right?
It was wonderful. The energy there, too, was just, whenever you get that many women together, those like-minded women, and the atmosphere just goes crazy.
It is, and there were so many young women. Like, that was the other thing I was impressed with, because the concern always is, right, like, that it's aging, and we know the construction workforce is aging, but there were a lot of young women there.
I'm seeing that in our association as well. Our demographic has changed tremendously. I'm seeing a lot of coming out just out of college or just out of tech school, and they're hungry for those next opportunities. And so I'm seeing that demographic change every year.
I love that. I love that. And I think it's so important for them to have a place at the very beginning of their career. Yeah. So it's great what you guys are doing. So tell us about the structure. NAWIC, do you have chapters in every state? How does that work?
Yeah, so we're missing 3 states, but we're working on it. We have all 50 states except for Wyoming, New Mexico, and West Virginia, and we're working on those right now. We actually have been talking in New Mexico recently, so we're growing. We're at 121 chapters across the country right now.
Wow.
Yes, and so we just did 3 chapters, charged 3 chapters last year. So we're growing every day, and we've got at least 3 more on the horizon for this next fiscal year.
That is fantastic. And do you guys offer resources and like just support groups, conference? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so throughout the year, we are divided into 8 regions throughout the country. So in the spring and in the fall, each one of those regions will have a small conference, and it'll be 2 or 3 days, and that's education content, good speakers, job site tours, things like that. And then on a national scale, we do one national conference every year in August. We usually have about between 550 to 600 women at that. We're really wanting to grow that because it's 4.5 days of certifications, different educational opportunities, speakers, and things like that, and just a really good place to get together with women across the country and really network that way in person is just such a great way to do that. Then we have monthly webinars and speakers, things like that throughout on the chapter level, the region level, and national. So there's always something to do.
But that's awesome that there's always something to do. And
Yes.
I like the fact that you're broken up in the regions too, so that they have like their local and then they have their region, and it just kind of expands that network. Saying that you have the younger women and everything, do you have people in the trade? Do you have women in the trades that are coming into?
We do, yes, and that is growing, and we're doing that on purpose because we've noticed throughout the years, we started at 16 women, we're at just under 6,000 right now, but we've noticed that it's a lot of the project managers, architects, engineers, and we want to make sure that we're also representing those trade women. So that's something that we've really worked hard the last few years to make sure we're going out there and finding tradeswomen and finding students and apprentices and getting them involved as much as we can at the beginning and really growing that demographic.
That's great. Do you guys, I remember a program, you guys used to have block kids. Do you still do block kids?
We do.
That is such a fantastic, I loved that. I don't know what happened. We used to be involved. So talk a little bit, tell our listeners, people viewing, about Block Kids.
So Block Kids is from our education foundation, and so we do Block Kids events. It's the elementary school level, and that is a building contest with building blocks. Each student gets like building blocks, string, foil. There's everybody gets the same exact thing. And so they start out the day in the morning and they're planning, what do I want to build? Why do I want to build that? What do I want that to do? And so they have their drawing, they have their plans, and they have to describe what it is. And then they build. And then they actually get judged on the chapter level and the local level. They move up to region, and then they move up and have a national winner for Block Kids.
Cool.
We also do it, and so they get money for that towards their education. And then we also have, on the middle school and high school level, we have design, build, and drafting. So we have those competitions as well that are on the local, regional, and national level.
I love that. And I love the fact that it's specifically for girls, and we need to get them young, and we need to help them understand construction can be for them. Yes. I know there was a survey a while back that was a little concerning. It's been a while, but they had interviewed or surveyed or did something with a class. There was 100 kids. They talked to them, and they were asking, would you go into construction? Wouldn't you? And all the boys, yeah, most of them or whatever. But all the girls said no, and they asked the girls why. They were in elementary school, and they said, because I'm not strong enough. They really had put that together thinking it took brute strength
Yes.
to actually be in construction, and that's not true.
Yeah, it's that perception that construction is hard, dirty, and that it's very hard on your body. And that perception is something that we definitely need to try to change. Now, there is that, but
Right.
there are so many other things in construction.
Right.
So that's part of what NAWIC is definitely trying to do when we go into these schools and teach them that there's so many more things out there. It's not just hard and dirty. There's lots of different things.
There's a lot of other things. I know people I've talked to this week, that's what they're saying too. They're like, there's a lot more to construction, just kind of trying to get that message out there to young people in general. But I think, with 51% of our population being women,
Yes.
I think the construction industry really sees the opportunity just because of how many jobs we have open, how many,
Yes.
career opportunities.
That's one thing that I hear from members. I never hear anyone say that their biggest barrier is being a woman. What I hear, the barriers in construction are workforce, having a skilled workforce.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's at, where we have to get those trained, educated, in whatever field they're doing, so that we can get those spaces filled. And that's another, we have our scholarship foundation that we're trying to help with trade schools and universities to try to build that educated workforce.
And that's fantastic. Tell us a little bit about your scholarship program, because there's probably a lot of people that don't know about that.
There is, and we want to shout that from the rooftops, because we have money to give and we want to get that off the table and get that to these students. So it's grown so much. They started the foundation in 1973, and whenever I first started at NAWIC in 2012, we were given proud to give $70,000 in a semester to students. This past semester, in April, we were awarded $265,000 in scholarships. And that's to male and female students. That's
amazing.
For the whole workforce. So we're so proud of that. But there's still, we have money to give. We've got people all the time saying, let me give to your foundation. And we're like, cool,
that's
we
a
want to
terrible
give the
problem
money.
to have.
Yeah, give me all the money. Now I need people to apply. So it's really easy to apply. It's like a 2-page application on our website to apply for these. They're due in February every year. And it's anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 per award.
Okay.
So
what do they have to do anything specific? Like, how do you determine who's going to receive the awards?
It's all based on need. So they'll have on there their financial need, and of course their grade. They'll need a transcript to show that they're making the grades and everything. But it's a game changer, really, whenever it's someone that can't afford school or tools to move forward in their vocational school as well.
So it's post-secondary, right? So I'm assuming it's someone that's gotten out of high school.
Yes.
And they're either in a technical college, a community college, a university, or can they be in any type of training program, or is it really focused on this?
Any type of training program that is construction related.
And I love the fact that you're saying it can be for the cost of the courses, the cost of the school, but it also can be for boots and tools and all of this that are really important also.
Yes, because we have a lot of apprentices too. We started a student and apprentice membership category with NAWIC, so it's $25 a year for those women that can be getting that networking and mentoring while they're still in school. And so that is very important to us to make sure that we're connecting people.
Yes. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree 110%. So thinking about construction, what do you think are some things that we need to do a better job promoting that would appeal to women? Like, what can our industry do?
It's definitely that perception. I go back to that because it's that perception of there's so much you can do, and you can be a boss at it. You can totally be the top, right? And I think a lot of women sit back and let men or other women even go above them because they think, oh, I'm not strong enough to do that, but either emotionally or physically. But it's not true. So we just need to change that perception that you can do this.
Right.
Every one of you can do this, and you can do it just as good or better than the next person.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just getting that confidence, that perception out there.
Yeah, and getting the word. So, but I love the fact that you're starting as early as elementary school, because it's going to take us getting into all the different areas, from kindergartners all the way up to high school to get them to understand. I mean, it's a big shift.
Yes.
It's a big shift. Are there any particular things that you would like to see our industry work on to become more, for lack of a better word, women friendly?
I can tell you one, and it sounds weird, and I would have never thought about it until I was in this association, meeting women, talking to women. What are your needs? How can we bring value to you? One of the things that I learned is on job sites, like the porta potty situation, things like that. It's huge, and you don't even think about it until you're the woman on the job site, right, looking for a place privately to be. And so it's things like that, just making sure, are you looking at childcare? Are you looking at that? That's a huge barrier with the times that construction sites start and end and childcare. Are you looking at your porta potty situation and safety for women and the PPE? That's huge. And at our conference, we always bring a lot of female PPE vendors in so that our ladies can know, hey, there are some people out there for you that they're not going to give you a small shirt, they're going to give you a woman's shirt.
Right. Well, and that's the funny thing, because I've been to project sites and they would give me an extra small min, and I'm like,
Yeah.
That's not really going to work. But I have talked to a lot of contractors now that are supplying that. Like, they get it. They're like, okay, you are absolutely right. It's our job to supply PPE, and it needs to actually fit you. So I love to hear that you're bringing the vendors to your conference.
Yes.
So women, because now we've got work boots, we've got all kinds of things for the field we didn't have before that are being made specifically for us.
Absolutely. And it's little things that someone like me would not have thought of before, like the gloves. No, you don't just need a small glove. You need a woman's glove. Things like that. You don't shrink it and pink it. You got to actually make it.
Yeah, it's got to actually fit. Well, and it's so funny that you say that, shrink it and pink it. That's not the only answer. That's what I used to hear too about porta potties. So people would say, well, we painted it pink and we put a lock on it. And I'm like, okay, that's not exactly what we meant. And so you have to do this whole education of, we have things we need to take with us to go to the bathroom. Like, what are we supposed to do with this? And it's a hard conversation, but I'm going to tell you something. This previous year presenting our research, I have had more contractors go, yes, I get it now. Like, that makes sense. I did not think about it. Because when you start, for years, we didn't talk about it.
Right.
So we didn't tell them why, right? And it's like they don't know if you don't tell them.
To do that. Right. So we didn't teach them. So we already had them at a disadvantage. Really.
Absolutely. And the child care, I think, is huge. It's huge. And we talked to so many women that said, look, I'm willing to start early. I just have to be able to pick up at a certain time, or I'm willing to come in late and stay later. And I just think as an industry, we need to start thinking a little bit like everyone doesn't have to start at the same time.
Right.
I don't even know why we would think that everybody has to start at the exact same time.
Right. Yeah, we have to, if we don't adapt, that we're losing that whole demographic, because we're not in the stage where, okay, I graduate high school, now I need to get married and I need to have kids and this is all that I do. With the people, we want to have our children and our family and our career. We want to be able to do it all. I've been blessed with being able to do that, but there are women that aren't in that situation. So we have to adapt and change. It's very different than it was whenever you must be here at 15 till 8 and stay all the way until 5 and that kind of mindset.
Yeah, and these women, we have a lot of women, single moms. I mean, talk about appealing to a group of people that need the pay. I mean, the construction industry is known, we pay well.
Right.
So that's one reason. A lot of the women we talk to, once they get in, though, it's like, oh, this is so great. I feel so proud. I think it gives them even that side. It just supports them and gives them confidence.
Absolutely. And these are women that are highly capable. And so if we're leaving them off the table, then we're hurting ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah, making a mistake. And I think the other thing is just talking about being able to move up the ladder. Like, that's the problem, too. We had so many women that we spoke to that said, I've never had a woman superintendent. I've never had a woman project manager. And so until we start being very intentional about finding people that are skilled, we certainly want them to be skilled but we have to be intentional about that to move them in the spots so that other women see them.
Yes. That's how you're going to pave that way. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that whole, if I can't see it, I can't achieve it thing.
Yes.
And so I think, women want to see, which I think your organization provides that. So I think, can companies join your organization as a company, or is it only individuals?
Well, they're individual memberships, but they can be on a corporate level where you purchase this many, this many, and that way you can change out. If women change jobs, because people move around, you can change that out and still have it within your company and not go with that woman. And so you can represent, and no matter where you are in the country, you can go to any chapter event or chapter meeting and be completely welcomed into that. So,
that's good. And I wasn't even sure about that, but I love the fact that a company can come and buy a certain amount of memberships, and then they can give them to, and then that person, I'm assuming, when they leave, they can do their own, like they can continue even if they go to a different company or somewhere else in the industry.
Yes, absolutely. And we love to see student memberships become active memberships whenever they're out of school and they're at their jobs, and hopefully they've met some really great women that have helped them along that journey. And so that is, to me, the best thing to see.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So are there some positive things you're seeing happening in the industry that you really feel they're actively doing?
I am. I'm seeing a lot of males that are advocating for female employees, or their staff or their wife or their daughter, and I'm seeing them out there more and more advocating for, hey, if you want somebody that can do the job well, you need to go talk to this girl because she's got it. So I'm seeing that a lot, and it's such a positive thing. I see it when we expo, men coming to our booth just as much as women are.
I came by your booth here, and I was like, and there was a gentleman over there going, oh yeah, we want to join, we want to get with, and I was like, this is fantastic.
Yes, it is. And so seeing that everyone advocating for each other, our male allies are so important to us. And we get a lot of information from them, and we're able to give information back, right? So it's such a win-win. I see that in the industry more and more, and it is so wonderful to see.
It is, and I like you say that, about male allies,
Yes.
and I think, and I hear that a lot now. We have a lot of discussions about, and the importance of having a male ally, and being in a male-populated industry. There may not be a lot of women. You go and you get a job there, and you may be one of the few. So you need to connect.
Yes, and a lot of times they're your best advocate. Absolutely, because women can be mean to other women.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Right, so that's where we're hoping to spread the awareness of let's all lift each other up,
Yes.
and if a man can lift us up, a woman can definitely lift a woman up as well. And let's all work together to make the industry as a whole better.
And I think that's so important because I think, some women struggled so much, and then they get into certain, and they forget, like, it would have been nice if somebody would have helped them. They didn't have help, so they shouldn't do the same thing to someone else.
They're like, I had to pay my dues and do that, so you should have to as well, instead of going, hey, let me make this a little bit easier for you.
Been there, done that, let me tell you what to do or what not to do. I would, and I think that that's what your organization brings, is some of that mentoring, I would assume, too, where women can connect with someone that's been in longer and ask questions. So do you see a lot of that?
We do. We have a very robust mentoring program, and I have seen it on the mentor and mentee side be very successful. I mean, we have a retired membership category, and those women stay in, and we are so thankful for them because they are, helping these women.
That's gold.
But then they're learning from the younger generation as well, and so it is so fun to watch the back and forth. How it's great for both sides.
That's so good. Why, the younger, we're so much talk about trying to get younger people into the industry. So what do you think it is that you're doing that's bringing so many young women in?
I think it's just trying to make it more attractive, like make it more, hey, you can all do this, and you can make a lot of money at it, and have that feeling of accomplishment and that confidence in that you're doing something that's making you happy, and you're seeing your world being built around you by you. And you're doing really good at that and making a good living and still being able to take care of your family and yourself. So I think just it's a lot, that whole perception, that awareness that we're doing, and really providing a community that is a safe space for that.
Yeah, I love that. So any particular projects, anything that stands out that you've just been like, I'm really proud of this, that you guys have accomplished as an organization over the past 5 years?
I think making sure that we're taking care of our tradeswomen and students, that has been huge, because I feel like talking in the industry, whenever I go to different places, I feel like they have always thought, oh, well, that's not for me. It's for the project managers.
Right.
But we've been leaving them out. And so for us to really take that step and grab onto that and grow that program for them and make sure that they are welcomed and taken care of, and we're giving them value, that has been huge to me. I've been so proud of that.
That's great. I mean, I love that fact, of course, like the field side of it, that's fantastic. So over the years been in it, is there anybody that's inspired you, or anybody that's really kind of this made you feel like, I want to stay, I'm doing a good job, and I want to do what they've done?
My daughters. I am inspired by my daughters because I want them to know that they can do absolutely anything in the world that they want to do. And so that's what inspires me to keep going and show them, did you think I could do this? I didn't either, but look, I'm doing it, and
that's
you can
so
do
cool.
anything that you want to do. And part of this association and being able to meet the women that I've met over these years and introducing my daughters to them, and they've learned different careers and different styles and have really opened their minds. And so that's where my inspiration comes, is from those two girls.
I love that. How old are your girls?
30 and 13.
30, and so, yeah, okay, no, that's okay, because I have a 32-year-old and a 22-year-old, so not quite not quite the same gap, but I totally get it. So I love that.
Thank you.
your younger one, older one, have they already had their mindset what they want to do?
Yes, so my oldest is into promotional items. She does all that kind of promotional work. My youngest, she is wanting to go into the Navy.
Awesome.
So, and people
Wow.
say, "Are you going to be in construction?" She's like, "No."
I know, right?
I'm going to the Navy. So we'll see what happens after that.
Well, both my girls said no, and both of them are in construction, so you
Really?
never know what's going to happen.
Yes.
So great. Anything else that you want to tell while we have people listening and watching about NAWIC? Anything coming up specific? Like you have a conference coming up, and when is it? How can they find out about it?
Okay, so our national conference is in August. This year, August the 14th through the 17th at the Westin Galleria Houston in Houston, Texas. So it'll be warm, but we're inside air conditioning. We're all good. We've got a couple of really great job site tours, really great keynote speakers, and 22 educational seminars going on throughout the week. So there's a lot going on, a lot of chance to meet people and get to know a lot of people who are doing the things that you are doing.
So if they go to your website, can anybody sign up for it, or do you already have to be a member? Like, how does this work?
No, so anyone can sign up for it. If you go to www.nawic.org, then you can find out all the information about the association, about our education foundation, our scholarship foundation, and the annual conference is all in there. WIC Week in March, Women in Construction Week, that's huge for us, and so there's tons of information on our website for WIC Week every year as well. So we'll start ramping that up as soon as conference is over.
Yeah, I don't even know why we didn't talk about that. You guys have made WIC Week so popular. That's like everybody knows, like that's a NAWIC thing. It's WIC Week. So absolutely, there's a lot going on. And I really do see, I see NAWIC more and more. I hear more people talk about it. So I really think whatever you guys are doing, it's going in the right direction. I hope a lot of people, young women, companies, men, everybody looks into this organization, because I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of growth even further than the 6,000 you have now. I think you'll be at 10,000 before too long.
I love that thought. I love that thought because it's such a great community, and it's so fun to watch these women really grow their lives and their careers together. It's a great thing to watch.
That is. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I know you're busy here at Skills USA.
We are. We've had a lot of traffic. So it's been wonderful, though. Thank you very much for having me.